Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 3 of Tangle Talk. We have a special guest today. Her name is Jaiden. She is a soccer player here at NC State, the same school that I play softball at. So she is actually one of the first people I met outside of my team at NC State last year when I got here for my first year. So I just thought she was going to be an awesome person to have on because she has a really cool story, and I just think she overall is an awesome person, and I know you guys are going to love this episode. So make sure you keep watching, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and just keep commenting any questions you have for upcoming podcast episodes. So yeah, I can't wait, and I'm super excited for this episode. Hope you guys love it. Okay, welcome to Tangle Talk.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. I think I mentioned in the intro, Jaiden's like one of the first people I met, like outside of my team, like when I got here last year, like through SAC and stuff. So yeah, I was just super excited to have you, and you just have like a cool story, like with your like injury and stuff. And yeah, I just thought you were gonna be really cool to have on. So I'm super excited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Jaiden. I don't know all what you said during the intro, but I am a 6th year student on the women's soccer team at NC State. I'm getting my master's degree right now. I will be graduating in December, and I don't know what's next, but I've enjoyed my 6 years at State so much.
Yeah.
Being SAC president and joining like Pac United and whatnot, like I've had a really great career at NC State, so I'm excited to move on, but it'll be like a bittersweet ending.
Yeah. Like she said, she's graduating with her master's, so that kind of goes into our sponsor for the video. This one's sponsored by Julia Renee Photography. I had graduation pictures with her last May when I graduated with my bachelor's, and I obviously like we were only like texting and stuff before, so like the first time I met her was like actually like going to take pictures, and she just made it like so comfortable, and I feel like I like knew her like forever. Like she was like hyping me up the whole time, like taking pictures and stuff. So she does a lot of stuff in like the Raleigh area with graduates, and I think she does like couple stuff too. So if you're in the Raleigh area, definitely recommend having her take pictures because the pictures were so cute. So
I'm so excited.
Jaiden's gonna get some pictures, so I'm so excited to see them.
I'm so excited. It's actually crazy because, like I told you, like I've been on the hunt for a photographer.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I was like, that's so perfect.
I know. I think I found her through like one of those like Facebook groups last year, and I was like, I was scrolling through her Instagram, and I was like, I love these. So like the bright, like I don't know, they were just so cute. So she did an awesome job. So like I said, Jaden's gonna take some pictures.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, they're gonna be so good. So yeah, I guess just walk us through like kind of your timeline, like at State, because I know a lot of people can get really confused, like how do you get extra years? Like everyone thinks like 4 years or whatever, but I know there's like a lot of ways to get extra years. So I don't know if you had like a COVID year or
I did. So I came in as a freshman in 2019. And then COVID hit my sophomore year in 2020. So all of the student athletes were given a year back, we know that. But I finished out junior, senior year, was coming back for a COVID year. And this was last year. Last August was coming back for my COVID year, my 5th year. And then during preseason, I tore my ACL and meniscus, and so I redshirted. And now I'm back for my 6th year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know, that's like everyone's, because I feel like people get confused with like transfer stuff and redshirt stuff, but I'm the same way. So this is my 5th year now, but I have a 6th year. So I haven't heard for 2 years now, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. No, it's like totally fine, but I don't know. But yeah, I know people can get really like, they're like, how in the world are you like still here? But and with like the COVID stuff too, because we have a girl on our team, she's in her 6th year. I think she might have been like the same with you. Like she got hurt and had her COVID year, so we're getting old.
Yeah,
but
I'm so old. I feel so old.
Literally, I was like, I feel like this year, like last year, I was like, oh, whatever, like I feel like normal, I guess. But now I'm like this year, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel old.
I'm old. And I keep getting the question, like, because I redshirted like the COVID year, they're like, so do you technically still have the COVID year? Like, are you gonna come back for a 7th year? I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I'm so tired. I know. And everyone is just so much younger.
Yeah, I know. Like even the age thing, like I'm like, okay, I'm 22, but like some of the girls on the team now are like 17, about to turn 18, and it's like you don't think that it's like that big of a deal, but it's just like I should be like home having like a job and like moving on with my life, but
it's exactly how I feel. Especially since like everyone our age, like has already graduated. They're
Yeah.
already doing the big girl adult stuff.
Literally. I feel like I've seen so many people like on my Instagram like getting engaged, and like some people I know are like having babies, and I'm just still here playing
and some
softball.
of them are like younger than me, and I'm like, what am I
Yeah.
doing here?
I'm just still playing softball. Like,
I'm just here playing soccer, so
literally.
It's
no,
crazy.
I totally get that, but yeah, so I don't know. I'm definitely not trying to like rush it at all.
I'm trying to soak it all in because they tell me like you're gonna miss it, and I'm like, for sure, but I am ready for like, the next
I feel like I've definitely like realized that now that like, especially this year, so like this is my 5th year, and I feel like it's hit me like, oh my gosh, I should be home having a job. So it's like, I feel like I'm like starting to like really take it day by day, because I'm like, this should be over, but like I'm still getting the opportunity to play. So I feel like it does kind of hit you like,
it does.
this should be over.
You become so
like,
much more like appreciative of every moment that you have.
Yeah, for sure.
Because our season this year has been like really rough. We haven't been playing well. Oh, we've been playing well, but we haven't been like winning and getting results. And I just have to remind myself like, I'm coming back from injury, and it is my last year. Like, just enjoy every moment, like soaking it in with like your teammates who are your best friends. And, like, as much as classes like really suck, I'm getting my master's degree at the end of this, so like I'm trying to just stay so positive.
It's like you're trying to find the positive and everything. No, I totally get that. Even so, mine's like, I was supposed to start my master's, but I had like this whole mishap. So I didn't know that you had to take PE at NC State. Because I was at Georgia for 3 years, and you don't have to take PE. Like if you're in a sport, like that covers your credit, basically.
Makes sense,
like you would think everyone would have that. So I was fine in the fall. I didn't take any PE, so I still needed 2 credits in the spring. But then that's like when my whole back thing happened, and so then I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Like I like couldn't walk or like do anything. I was like, how am I supposed to take 2 PE credits? So I ended up getting into some, but then I failed one because she said I did it on like the wrong app or something. I was like, how did I fail PE? I was like, I've never failed a class, and then I'm failing PE my last semester at college. So I take it over the summer or whatever, but so now like my things are all messed up, so I have to start my master's in the spring. So it's like, right now I'm just like taking classes to take them, and I'm just like it feels like I'm really like just working towards nothing, because I mean really I am, so but
that's so tough. I was supposed to do the same thing last year because I graduated last May, May of 2023, and then when I came back for my 5th year, I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm taking like no classes. I'm in like 2 classes just to be eligible. Like I can't wait. I'm so excited. And then I got injured, and they were like, so you should probably get your master's. And I had to like in a week, like I had to like switch my entire like class schedule around, and I was like, hey, great.
That would be a big switch up, because you're like, okay, now like you go from like you're just taking them,
I'm
kind
just
of
chilling,
take it, and like I'm hanging out, and now you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm getting my master's.
I have to get my master's.
Big switch up. Okay, well, also I didn't know you were from Florida.
I'm
from Florida too.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Like Orlando-ish.
Dang, I'm from Jacksonville.
I know, I saw that, so I sent out like a little like kind of like somewhat get to know me before, and it was like, she's like, oh, I'm at NC State, but I'm really from Florida, and I was like, how did I not know this? Like, it's a small world, but
that's crazy. Like, what school did you go to?
Like Brantley.
I don't actually. I haven't heard of that.
We had one girl from Jacksonville on the team last year, but she graduated. But
what was her name? I don't know.
But small world. So I guess that kind of goes into like, did you always want to go out of state like for school, or it kind of just like happened?
No, my dream school was actually to play at Florida State. I really bad want to play at Florida
State
so bad. And like I had the opportunity to, but like while I was going on all my visits, my mom like forced me to go visit other schools. She which is crazy because she went to Florida State. I think that's like really how I grown to love the school. Like my whole family went there. But she forced me to go on other visits during the recruiting process, and so I was going around, and then I thought for sure I was gonna land at Florida State, but as soon as I visited NC State and like met the people here, I was like, I feel like this is where I should go.
No, I felt the same way. Like I said, I transferred after my junior year, and so NC State was like the first people to call me, because after that I was like, I have no idea like where I want to go. I was like, do I want to go back home? Do I want to like go far? Like I didn't know, so I was like just open to whatever. And NC State was my first visit, and then I had like I think 2 other ones set up after NC State, and then I came here and it was like the same thing. Like I just felt it. I was like, this is where I need to be. Like I don't know. I just knew like with transferring, I was like, I wanted somewhere like completely different from Georgia, like in a way, because that was like the whole point of me transferring, was just like I need somewhere like new, just like completely like whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt it, and like same thing like you said, like I kind of just feel it.
It's just like a feeling. I remember like hanging out with the girls on the team and being like, oh my gosh, like they have such a great bond and like family environment. I was like, I love this. And when I visited Florida State, I didn't get the opportunity to hang out with the girls. And so I called up the coach back and was like, can I hang out with the girls for the weekend? And like I did, and they were great. They were awesome, but it wasn't that like same like homey kind of feeling.
I tell people like going through recruiting, like as funny as it sounds, it's kind of like relationships, like dating kind of. Like when people say like when you get married, like you know, I was like, I feel like it's the same kind of feeling with the school. Like you hopefully, I hope everyone feels that way. Like find it, like when you go somewhere, you're like, this is where I'm supposed to be, or like these are the people I'm supposed to be around. So
and it's so like personal too. Like I everywhere I visited, like all the girls were great, and there wasn't like a single team where I was like, oh, I can't be with those girls. But it's like it really is like up to you, because I know girls that went to the same schools that I visited, and they were like, that's where I belong. I'm like, that's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy how like
everyone's experience is different. I mean, that's the same way. Like me at Georgia, like it's not that I like hated Georgia. I have nothing like bad to say against Georgia. I think honestly, like getting hurt and stuff too was like one of the main reasons I left. But I mean, there was girls that absolutely loved it there, and then there was girls that like me just kind of had like a hard time with it too. So it's like everyone's gonna experience different things. So it's like definitely that would be a tip for like people like in recruiting. Like you can't really base like your opinions on a school of like say you have a friend that transferred. Like I wouldn't like totally like just
unless
like,
it's like some crazy bad stories. Like unless it's something like crazy. I wouldn't.
There is some crazy stories out
there. There is some crazy stories out there.
Definitely listen to people, but like don't like if it's just something like not very serious, like definitely like don't take it to heart, because you could have a completely different experience. So.
Absolutely.
But absolutely.
What was like transferring like for you? Like were you like nervous about that? Like
I definitely was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I thought about it like a lot while I was at Georgia. There was just like something like while I was there, I just didn't really like feel like myself in a way. Like I didn't ever like want to go like hang out with people. Like I didn't want to like go do stuff, and I'm just like, this is not me. And it kind of just like built up as years went on. And then with getting hurt, I feel like that was just like a really hard time. Like I just want to be by myself. Like I wasn't really like turning to anybody. So it was always in the back of my mind that I was like, I'm just not myself here, and I need to go somewhere else. But I was definitely nervous. Like I called my coach like over the summer, like telling him I was going to transfer, and like I was so upset. I was crying on the phone, and he was like, "It's fine." Like he couldn't do anything about it. Like at that point, I already made up my mind. But it was definitely nervous, because then I was like, what if no one called me? Like
that
am
is
I done? Because I mean, there's a lot of people that like don't come out of the portal, but like I was fortunate enough to have people call and stuff. So it was kind of like cool in a way too, to like see who's gonna call and like where I could end up, because like in the past, like with recruiting before, I was like, I'm not going past like these states, and then like this time around I had like people up north calling, and I was like, maybe do it. I don't know. So it was very like I was very nervous about it, but in a way I was like, I need this for myself, and I know that wherever I land up is gonna like be where I'm supposed to. Like,
there's gonna be like an element of like excitement behind it too. Like as much as it's like
I was nervous, but very excited too.
No, that's awesome. I always like thought about like, well, what if I entered the transfer portal one year? And I had a great career here. I have no complaints, and I never really had like a real reason to transfer, so I was never like going to. And I think about it all the time. Like, I wonder what that experience is like. Like I would be so nervous to get into the portal, but I would also be like excited, like, who wants me?
Like, come on, who's calling me?
Hit my line. No, exactly. So what was your injury?
So my junior year, I tore my shoulder, like my labrum. So that happened my junior year. That happened like the fall of my junior year. So whatever year that was, 2022, I guess. And so I sat out the whole fall and the whole spring year. Like at the end of the spring is like finally when I could start to like practice, which I don't really know why it took me like that long, because usually like they don't, like it's like 6 months to a year, I guess. So it just took me a little bit longer to come back from it. And then so after that I went into the portal, and then I like committed to NC State. I played the whole fall, and I went home for Christmas break and like through New Year's, because we kind of have like that month off before season. And I was completely fine. Like I was practicing everything, and then like in the middle of the night, I woke up and like my leg was numb, and like I was in so much pain, and I was like, what is happening? Like what is wrong? And so like it went on for a couple of days, and I like told my mom, I was like, something's like really wrong. Like I don't know what's happening. So I ended up calling the guy who did my rehab for my shoulder at home, and I was like, I need to come in. We got to do something. So I was like, I'm gonna call my coach and like my trainer yet. Like I'm like trying to figure it out, like what, because I was like, we're supposed to go back in like 2-3 weeks, like to start season. So I call him, and he's like, okay, just come in and we'll figure it out. And so he's like needling my back, helping, like trying to get like all this stuff to like get me right, and like nothing was working. So I eventually called my trainer, and I was like, like we have a big problem. Like I like cannot walk. Like it was so bad. And I always had like back like problems in like high school and stuff. Like everyone kind of said like bulging disc and stuff. Like I feel like that happens a lot in athletes, but it wasn't anything that like was like that bad to like keep me out of anything. So eventually I got back to Raleigh. My boyfriend had to drive me up, and I was like laying in the back seat just like on my stomach, so I like couldn't like sit or anything. So he drives me up here, and we met with like one of the doctors up here. I got an MRI and stuff, and my disc was like basically almost out, like in my back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he was like, you like have to get surgery. Like there's no option. Like basically at this point, like I wasn't even worried about softball. Like I was like, I need to walk. I need to be able to like sit in a chair again. Like just like do normal things. So it was super scary. But
that is so scary. Do they know how that happened, or like?
I guess just like over time, like cause I catch and like I'm always in a squat, so I was like, I don't know if that's because of it, and it was just like slowly moving, but it was just crazy how it was like one night, like the whole fall I was fine, like I played, like did everything, so it was definitely super scary, but
that is so scary.
Yeah, so I had surgery this past January. And so yeah, I'm playing now, so
that's good.
Fingers crossed. Everything's good.
Awesome.
So
it feels good.
I'm good. So yeah, it was just like scary. Like it was basically just like a month that like we were trying to like figure it out.
That's so scary. And like the whole time you're like, I don't feel right.
Like I was just like laying on the couch, like on my stomach, like I couldn't lay on my back or like sit in a chair. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember it was Tanya.
I remember.
I think it was like the first like SAC meeting back, and she was like, Peyton can walk again. I was like, thanks, Miss Tanya. But
well, I remember there was one that like you might have missed or something, and she was like, her back really hurts, and I'm like, then tell her to like stop, because I think you were gonna try to like force it and like come.
And
she was like, I told her not to come.
I was like, I cannot come. Like I'm so sorry.
But
maybe it was like after surgery or something. But I don't know. But yeah. So it was definitely like a rough month, and it was just so weird how it was just like that, like overnight. So definitely really scary. But I mean,
so scary.
Got surgery and I've been good since.
I'm glad.
So I'm glad to rehab all summer. So so
that is so scary.
But you know, injuries happen, and everyone kind of asked me about like. Because it's been 2 years now that it's been like back to back, like I haven't played, and people can ask me like, just like about like coming back, like it's been like so long since I played, but not that I'm like grateful that it happened, but I feel like my first year with like my shoulder and stuff, like, I don't know, again, I was just like kind of like not myself with like being at Georgia and like getting hurt and stuff, like it was just honestly kind of like a dark like year, and like just being alone, and then with my back, I feel like with that month of like literally not being able to do anything, I feel like I kind of like switched, and like I was like, oh my gosh, like I get to walk again, I get to play softball again, so I feel like my like mentality of it like totally like switched up.
You became like a new person, like a brand new person.
So that's definitely like, again, not that I'm like grateful that happened, but anyway, like I've definitely like grown a lot with like the 2 years being out, so You know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's so much growth that happens from like injuries. And
Yeah.
it's so unfortunate because injuries are part of it, but like I feel like athletes just come back like just stronger mentally, physically after an injury.
No, for sure.
Like I felt the same way after my knee injury. I had 2 surgeries too. I tore my meniscus again. I don't know how. It sounds like a similar situation.
Yeah.
Not like to wake up overnight and be like, ow!
Like, oh my gosh, what was I doing in my sleep? Like,
but like for a few months, I wasn't like feeling great. I was like, I'm like in a lot of pain, and I remember one day, it was like the whole mess of a weekend happened. It was like I had to do one of like the biodex testings for it. And then we had wolfies, and so I was wearing heels for the first time.
Oh my gosh,
and
like you're like, oh, total like
bad. And I stopped taking like my anti-inflammatory for why, I don't know. I just did stop it. And my knee like swelled up so bad, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. And they were like, you know, that happens sometimes. Like if you,
like it's whatever.
if you wear heels for the first time, that'll probably happen.
Yeah.
So they weren't concerned. Yeah. But I didn't do anything for like 2 weeks. I got it to settle down. I went on vacation for like 2 weeks with my family. Felt like fine, normal. Came back, and like the second training that I did, I barely did anything. I was just doing some like cutting, and I was like, my knee is so swollen again. And so I told my trainer, and she was like, yeah, that's not a good sign actually. And then we got, I was like, you're like, great, here we go again. So we got the surgeon back involved, and like the PTs, and we got an MRI, and they were like, yeah, you tore your meniscus again. And the first time you do it, like they'll try to repair it, especially since like we're so young and like our bodies have the ability to like heal it. But he did kind of tell me like it was in a location that's like it'll be hard because like there's not a lot of blood flow that gets there, and I guess it just didn't really hold up super well. So I had surgery again like in June. What was it? It was like around my birthday too. Yeah, and I was like, of course. Great. I'm like, great timing. And I'm like, so can I drink?
Oh my gosh. No, literally. No.
But I had the surgery, and I felt so much better after that. Like it was honestly so great for like my mental too, because like this injury, like coming back from any injury, but like it's so much more mental than it is physical, because like even the physical pain that you're feeling, you're having to push through that mentally so much. And that's so hard. But it makes you just like so much stronger, like a completely different person. Like I feel like a completely different person than who I was like before I got injured.
Literally, I can agree to that. Like I just feel like mentally and obviously physically I have all kinds of scars and stuff. But like just mentally I feel like I'm like a totally different person. And it's just crazy. Like even like my boyfriend, like he can tell, like not that I was like bad in a way, like of those like before, but like like even he's like, you just seem so much happier like after practice and stuff. Like I don't call him like so upset over like the smallest things. Like I'd be like, oh, I hit one bad round like at practice, and it's like it just like over like whelmed me in a way. It just like took me over, and now it's just like I don't know, like it happens, whatever. Like I'm gonna move on. Like it's not like it. Like I just don't feel like I like have to be like perfect anymore, because it's like you take that time off, and again, it's like you're just so like grateful for everything. And you realize like it's not as like serious as like it never you thought it was before.
It never is.
Yeah.
And it's like it's also like it's crazy too when you hear like your teammates talking about stuff. And you're like, wow, like that used to be me.
That used to be me.
That used to be me. And I try to help them out, but I'm like, it's honestly like a canon event. Like you kind of just have to go through that.
I was gonna say, you know, with us being older, like I know some of the freshmen, this is our first week of team practice, and I can tell they're like super stressed out. It's like they mess up or something, and I'm just like, you literally have to shake it off. Like I know it feels like so heavy, and you're like, oh my gosh, everybody saw that, but it's like everyone's also so worried about themselves. So I'm like, it's really not like,
it's crazy. We're all thinking the exact same thing. When we make a mistake and we're like, crap. Like that person just saw that. Like the coach just saw that. Everyone saw it. But like literally every single person's mind is like the exact same thing.
Everyone has 1,000 things going on in their head, and even like their coaches and stuff. I'm like, I promise it's fine. Like we're gonna come back tomorrow. We're gonna do it again. So it's like you kind of just, it's so much easier said than done. But like, just like literally try and forget it and restart. But I think with being hurt and just being older, I feel like it's so like
like a completely different mentality.
No,
it's
100%.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
And I just don't even miss the days where like I was like
that.
like that.
No, literally.
Oh my
Life is
goodness.
just so much more like
It's just, like,
calm
so
and
calm.
not as stressful.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so much better.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I feel like I used to get so overstimulated about the smallest things. Like, if I heard like a noise somewhere else, like I wouldn't even realize that. Like, now I'm twitching my leg. And, like, now I'm like I can't stop like fidgeting. It's like it's only because like there's another like because I've changed so much mentally. Like everything just seems like
it's just
so relaxed.
It's just not.
It was
like
never that deep.
No, it's really not that deep. And I feel like just as athletes, like we all just like want to be perfect and like want to like do all this stuff. But it's like at the end of the day, like our sport is a sport of failure. Like if you do good 3 out of 10 times, like you're good for your sport. Like that, like with hitting and stuff. So it's like I feel like we can forget that part. Like we're literally gonna fail like more times than we succeed. So it's like you just have to keep like that in mind. And I know it's like we all want to be perfect and stuff, but at the end of the day you're gonna fail. So it's like you can't make those failures like so much more elevated.
Define you.
So that's like our old people tip for all the youngins watching. It's like just don't get stressed.
Don't let it define you. It's okay. You'll grow up and then you'll realize like, I shouldn't have spent that much time on that. It was never that deep.
Cool. Okay, let's get into your hair.
Okay.
You can start your hair. Okay, so Jaiden sent a cute picture of a hairstyle, so we're gonna do that one. It's like a little like there was like 4, and then it was just down. So we're gonna do that. I think it would be super cute for like football and stuff. We have a football game tonight, so or tomorrow. But super cute. So we'll just do our hair, and we're gonna just probably answer some questions that got asked just about injuries and like being away from home and stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of walk through those while I braid her hair. Okay, so the first one, just tips on staying positive through injury. I feel like we kind of touched on that a little bit.
This is definitely so hard.
Yeah.
It is definitely so hard.
I feel like I did like, again, like I said, like my second time through being hurt was a lot easier. But I feel like my first one, I was just so negative through it, like the whole time. But again, I feel like it kind of just goes back to like being grateful that like eventually you're gonna come back and like you're gonna be able to play your sport again. But I know it's like really hard to like keep that in mind, like while you're going through it. But just I guess being grateful for like the small things, like if it's like you're doing better in rehab or like something, I don't really know, but just trying to like be grateful even for things like outside your sport and like outside of like what's going on. Like maybe like like during this time that you need to like go out with your friends more, like do stuff with them, but just like like finding things that bring you joy outside of your sport. I feel like that really helped me.
Like you really do have to just like do you. I was so hard. I was so negative and heartbroken when I got injured. Because like women's soccer players have this injury a lot, and so like I knew exactly what it meant. Like it was gonna be a grind. Like I was gonna have to really like battle through this, and it was gonna be a long time too, like 9 months minimum. So I was so negative and like honestly just probably a miserable person to be around. I don't blame people for like not wanting to be around me if that's how they were, but with that being said though, like you really do have to like lean on others. Like lean on the people that want to be there for you and be positive, because I was so negative and pushed like everyone away and just wanted to be alone when people were really there for me. And it took a while, but like once I was able to like get around them again and lean on them, like I felt my energy shift so much.
No, I definitely like feel that. Like definitely this past year, like with my back, I feel like I was like trying to find like my group of people still like at NC State and stuff, but like just like being around girls like more often. And one of the girls that I grew like super close with, she was also hurt at the time, so I feel like it was easy like for us to kind of like bond over that in a way, like of being hurt during season. But we just spent like a lot of time together, and I definitely like think that's important, like being around people that are gonna like help you through it and honestly like take your mind off of it, because it can like be really consuming. And that's how I like felt with my shoulder. Like it's like I was just like always thinking about it, like even when I wasn't at the field, like I feel like I was always thinking about like, I'm hurt and like I can't do like one of like been doing like my whole life. So definitely finding like people that help you through it and like just honestly get your mind off of this. Like super important.
No, that's so real because I mean, what else do you have to think about? Like you can't play. You like
as athletes, like we're so like like wrapped up in like this is all we do. I mean, it really is like what we've all done like our whole life. So
and so when it's like taken away from us, we're like, oh my gosh. As much as we want to say like, I don't let it affect me and my identity, it's like
no, it
we
definitely
really do.
does.
Like even if you don't want to, like it really does.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So scary. I like going back on what you said though, like me and my trainer, we used to always say like celebrate like the little victories. And like she used to remind me of that all the time because I would get so frustrated if like I couldn't do something or I was having a day where like I was in so much pain that like she was like, you just need to like go home. Like there's no reason to push through this today. But she used to have to remind me like celebrate like the little victories because like you've already come so far. Like just because you can't step down from this high of a box, like you can step down from this one. Like so that like just going off what you said, that is also so important.
Yeah, and I think finding things at like practice and stuff too, because it's like like you have to be at practice. So it's like for me, I would like walk like with my coach like for like the beginning of practice, like when they were warming up and kind of just like talk about things. And he kind of helped me, like he's super goofy and is like always joking about stuff. So it's like he was also like a really good like way for me to kind of like be at practice, but then also like still having like a good time and stuff. So finding things at practice that like make you feel like you're accomplishing something too, I feel like really helped me too. Like rather than just like sitting there, you're like, oh, I can't do this, whatever. So it's like just finding things like you can do. I feel like that's super helpful and like still makes you feel like super connected to the team too. But yeah, that kind of helped me like this past year, like just being in like the bullpen with like the pitchers and stuff, and then like in the like cage and stuff, like feeding machines and stuff, like just doing simple things that still make you feel like you're like involved.
That is also super important. I will say I didn't do that much at all in the beginning, especially like when I was on crutches. Like I think I just went to the games. And even then I was just sitting on the bench, like I wasn't. I felt so disconnected from the team. I felt like such a bad teammate. Like looking at the question, how to still be a leader while being hurt, I honestly don't even think I would know how to answer that because I feel like I was just not. Like I was for the first few months I was so isolated.
Just checked out. And I feel that. And I definitely feel that like again, first time going through it, like that's how I felt. And I think with getting hurt again, like back to back like that, like I was like, I want to do it different because I was like, I don't want to make myself like feel that way again because like I know that I was like hurting myself by like not talking to people and just being like so disconnected. Like I just knew I didn't want to feel like that again. So I think that again, it's like not that I was grateful that it happened again, but in a way it was like a redo, and I was like, I want to help my teammates, I want to be there for them because I knew I wasn't that my first time around.
Thankfully like we have people like at NC State that like push us. I feel like Tanya was huge for me because she would force me to like come to stuff still, like for SAC and Pack United. And I think like just getting involved and remembering like, okay, there is so much more than like playing my sport and I can still be a leader, like helped. Like the first few months I was pretty bad, but like I feel like after a few months I was like feeling like myself again and like just getting around people again and just trying to be there for the team because especially like the team last year, they also had such a tough year. And so like trying to be there for them when they're going through it too is like super important because like at the end of the day, like your teammates still need you.
No, I think it's good to like realize that too. Like I feel like what you said, like being there for them because like you don't realize until like you're out of it like how much like you need people to be there for you. So I think that's really important, like just I guess just finding a way, like I said, like how to feel involved with that. If that's like you reaching out to people to like go on a coffee date or something, or just like something small like that, like even outside of your sport, I feel like that can be really helpful like towards you and then also your teammates like through season and stuff. So that would be like one of my tips. Like it can be something like totally like outside of your sport, but just finding a way to, one, help yourself get through it, but then also like help other people through it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, when you're helping other people, it takes, like, your mind so much off of, like, what you're going through.
Yeah.
And, like, just puts, like, life into, like, perspective.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my gosh, there's just so much more.
No, 100%. Like Jaiden was saying, and we kind of mentioned a little bit, we met in SAC, and that's like a student athlete advisory committee. That's what it stands for. But again, I think it's super important for like athletes to be involved in something like outside of like just your sports team. I feel like I've met a lot of good like leaders, like Jaiden. Like she was the leader of SAC last year, and I feel like it's just super helpful, like finding a group of other athletes also to like go through things with, because like you experience something totally different than me, because like you guys are a fall sport and like your like schedule and everything's just so different, and it's like I'm not with you all the time like I am with my teammates. So I think it's really cool to like get involved with things. Like it still can be with athletics, but like not with your team, I think is really important like to do.
Yeah, you meet so many people and make so many different connections like in college, and then also for like after college.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I meet so many great people that like I'll stay connected with.
Yeah.
Post grad.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to like get connected on campus and like get to know different athletes and get to know different people, because at the end of the day it can only help you, and it really isn't like a big time constraint. I feel like people think that like, oh, I don't have time for this, and like the free time that I do have, I don't want to spend it on doing something like SAC, because it can be like a responsibility in a way, but it's really just like an hour every month.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important to get involved. I tell like whenever I have to do stuff with freshmen or summer start kids and like do panel discussions and Q&As and stuff like that, I always say like get involved early and often, because like it honestly makes your experience so much better when you meet people outside of your sport too. Yeah,
100%. So didn't you go to like the main like SAC like meeting thing last year or something?
Because I was like SAC president, I'm also in ACC SAC, and so you meet like all the other SAC presidents from ACC schools, like, which is like it's like such an amazing experience. It's so awesome. We always have so much fun. They're held like in Charlotte at the ACC headquarters. Yeah, that's cool. And so we get to hang out there for a couple of days and just talk about stuff that like we all want to be involved about, because it's all about bettering the student athlete experience. And so we feel like if they're allowing us to have a voice, like we're going to have a voice. Yeah. Exactly.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think that's awesome that like you got to do that and go like talk to other like schools and stuff, because again, like we said, like everyone's experience is so different, and I feel like it's like cool to kind of hear like how other schools like work and like their kind of experience with it. I feel like it's really cool to hear.
I might be biased, but like I think NC State is like gotta be the best in the
top
ACC.
tier,
No, because I hear stories from like other schools, and I'm like, there's
oh
no way. There's literally no way. And of course, NC State's not perfect. Like I'm sure a lot of our student athletes have had their stories here too, but just in terms of like the athletic departments, like hearing about what NC State offers in comparison to other schools is like actually kind of crazy. Like I wouldn't have thought we were like bad, but we have such a really great like well-rounded department.
Yeah. No, I think that's like one of the things I kind of realized like transferring and stuff, like being at State, I feel like there's so many people outside of like just your coaches and stuff that are like always there for you. Like we've mentioned Miss Tanya, but I feel like she's always like, I'll just see her like walking down the street and she's like, oh my gosh, how are you? Like asking me like how I am and stuff, and like those just like little interactions with like people that like are in the athletic department and stuff, like I don't think they realize like how much it means, but definitely like NC State feels like a community, and it's definitely like because of them, and they just do like just so good at it.
Yeah.
Just making you feel like
they're so
one
awesome.
big family.
Yeah,
so.
it is awesome.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend like a student athlete anywhere, but especially like here at NC State, because we have so many opportunities. Like get involved. Yeah. And get involved often. Like volunteer when you can. It makes you just feel so much better about yourself. Like knowing that you're helping others, and it's so much more than your sport. Yeah. Like if you have the opportunity to give back, like do it.
Yeah. I feel like that goes back to like me, like how I felt like my first time through injury, just like not doing a lot. And now that like I've came here and like trying to get more involved, which I was in SAC before, but I don't know, I just feel like the people here, again, it goes back to the people, just they honestly make you like want to want to be involved and stuff too, and I feel like that's super helpful. But yeah, definitely just getting like involved in like programs and stuff, again, just like takes your mind off, like even though you're still talking about sports, it's like you're not talking about like oh, Jaiden, how many goals did you get the other day? It's like you're not talking about outcomes or anything. It's like you're just getting to relate with other athletes, which is really cool.
Because we really all are like going through like the same experience.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It doesn't matter what sport you're in.
Yeah,
like it's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
So when you get to, and sometimes like I feel like when you're talking to your teammates, like they're gonna tell you what you want to hear. Like it's really important to get another perspective from another student athlete, because they can help you so much, like mentally, 100%. Just like get through stuff. Yeah, because like everyone, like your team is gonna, like even though you're all kind of experiencing the same thing, it's like everyone takes in things like differently. So it's like even just like working through stuff, like I know that I've been around people, like if I go to them, like I just know my emotions are gonna be like heightened so much, like with it. So it's nice like going to people outside your sport, because like they weren't there like when something happened. So it's like you're just getting like a raw like biased opinion to like help you through it. And I feel like that's been like super helpful too, like just having people outside your sport to like help you through stuff. And it also, like when you're telling somebody outside of your sport, it almost takes like away the weight of it. Because like when you're telling them, you're just like, you know what, this doesn't even sound like that. Like now that I'm saying it to somebody else. But when you say it to like your teammates, obviously they're gonna sit there and like feed you the kind of information that you want to hear and like validate your feelings so much. Like, and it's not a bad thing. Like I definitely think you need to talk to your teammates about stuff. But like, I think that there's times where it can actually become so toxic, because like they're gonna tell you what you want to hear for the sake of like the team and like for you, like knowing like, okay, you're upset with this, and that. Like I'm gonna validate your feelings and let you know why it's okay that you're upset with this, and that. But like if you were to go to a different student athlete and let them know like I'm upset with this, they're gonna be like, that's cool, but like don't, like in a way, like don't be like, because and then like, they'll give you like a reason not to. It might not be as bad as like you think it is in a way, like if you just hear someone else's opinion. And even like talking through it like with someone that's genuinely like just listening to you is like, I feel like really good, rather than like someone's like, oh yeah, like that was wrong, that was whatever, like just feeding into you or whatever. So I feel like it's really helpful just to like have that group of people you can go to when you need like true, honest, like just conversations to kind of get you through things. But absolutely, so important. So our last question is just any like tips for people who are like 5th, 6th years, because we kind of talked about it, but just there's like so many tips for like freshmen coming in and like all like the new kids, but like for all of us like players and stuff that are like older and we're like kind of like don't feel like you fit in anymore. I feel like it's like kind of hard, because like you do feel like so much older than anyone else. So just kind of any tips on that, because I feel like it can be super helpful for people who are like feeling like I'm supposed to like move on, like I shouldn't be here anymore. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way who are older, like I shouldn't be here still. So any tips kind of like not feeling that way? I think I always have to remind myself like the path that I'm on is the path that I'm supposed to be on. Like as much as it feels like I'm supposed to be having a big girl job and I'm supposed to be not playing college soccer at 23 for my 6th year, like I have to remember like this is where I'm supposed to be. And so just trying to learn the lessons that I'm supposed to be learning at this time. And it's so much easier said than done, because there are so many times where I look at like my friends that are now playing professionally in the States or overseas, and like how their lives have changed so much, how they've grown so much, and I've enjoyed that whole process of playing professionally and landing in a different place in the world. And it's like I'm still here in Raleigh, North Carolina. It can be so hard, but I just have to like remind myself like I'm supposed to be here, and there's lessons that I'm supposed to be learning right now. And so like allow yourself to learn those lessons and to grow from it.
I just think it's super important to remember, like, everyone's life is different, and even though, like, everyone, like, says, oh, 4 years and you're done, like, move on, whatever, like, clearly we had these injuries and, like, these setbacks and stuff for a reason, and I feel like it's, like, hard to remember, like, or, like, believe that, like, this was supposed to happen to me, but, like, everyone's life is different, and everyone's supposed to go certain things, like, go through certain things for a reason. So I think it's just really important to, like, remember you don't have to, like, follow, like, the cookie cutter, like, college experience that everyone else, like, experienced, or, like, you're supposed to experience in a way. So just remembering, like, it's okay to, like, have your own journey, because everyone's journey is going to be different. So not, like, putting too much pressure on yourself that, like, yours is different than, like, your teammates or old teammates and stuff like that. I think is really important. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for episode 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Jaiden's hair. Like, spin. We did the 4 little braids. Cute. Okay, thanks so much again for watching episode 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So make sure you look out for all the sneak peeks for next week's episode on my Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.